right, Mr. Simple Biz Guy, let's start the show.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to this, the final episode of this Simple Biz 360 podcast. Can you believe it's been 5 years already? Wow. Unreal. Yeah, it's just such a special day today. And I just first and foremost want to thank the crew here at Half Coast Studios for doing just an awesome job over the last 5 years. Half Coast Studios is located in a St. Louis suburb called Creve. And we started out with Alex Dietrich. We called him Dietz. And we've since gone over to the program director, Matt Parker, probably somewhere around the 45th or 50th show. He's been with us for 4 years. And today we have a new associate on board here today, Aiden, working the boards behind the glass. How you doing, Aiden? So we are just excited. The team's done such a great job. It's high quality all the way around. If you need anything ever, just be sure you tap Half Coast Studios here in the St. Louis market. They'd be glad to help. So we are found on YouTube, Rumble TV, IGTV, 28 audio platforms, and you can get every episode of the last 5 seasons on SimpleBiz360.com. Our book. Also, last time we'll plug this. This is on Amazon and Audible, paperback, as you see here if you're watching, and also Kindle. So we just a number of good reviews out there on it. So feel free to test the waters with it. But it's just got some timeless tools. Doesn't matter what year you're in. We've really taken a lot of cool stuff we've learned over a 35-year path, and we've put it into this book. And it's all designed to pay it forward and help you and leave it on your doorstep so you can make a decision whether it can help you or not. So today is our finale. I'm calling this the summary of 35 years because that's what it is. And here's the deal. I mean, honestly, what is the game changer? Is there a game changer? Can it really come down to 3 simple things? Do customers really, in the end, just want their vendor base to just deliver on 3 simple deliverables? Can it really come down to the fact that 3 things can eliminate most of our competitors? Does it really come down to the fact that this valid pathway to a better customer experience can be achieved through just executing consistently on these 3 things? And can these 3 things change our business this afternoon, tomorrow? And you know what? The answer to all that is yes, yes, and yes 1,000 times over. So what we say is if you can do these 3 things with consistency, they will change and alter the path of your career, your business, your company, and certainly your ability to provide for yourself and your family. And you will find yourself moving into a higher and higher, payable tier, because people realize after time that if you do these 3 things consistently, you will end up being their choice as a vendor, their choice for an employee, their choice for an associate, their choice for a teammate. And so we really just invite you to take a look at this graphic on the back wall. For those of you listening, there's a question mark, and there's another section on this graphic that just simply asks the question, will you say yes? And that question is targeted at 3 things. Will you say yes to respond, to follow up, and follow through? And we have talked about this till we are blue in the face. That's why it's blue on the wall, right? We've done it with this green. I don't know if you see this triple Y on my computer here, but that little graphic, we've got 3 Ys on this little circular graphic if you're listening. And it's really the 3 Ys of saying yes to respond to all inquiries, yes to follow up completely, and yes to follow through comprehensively. And that's the end of this show, this 5 years. It's the culmination of the book, and it really lands on this the car parks in this garage. It lands on this doorstep. And here it is, that the Achilles heel in business is we fail most of the time, most of our competitors at following through. So it is those people, those vendors, those operators, those professionals. If you can respond to every inquiry, if you can follow up completely, and you can follow through comprehensively, and you do this consistently, you will etch yourself out in the sphere of the experience economy, in this world of perceptions. You will etch yourself out as a standout professional. People will want to do business with you. Other companies will want to do business with your company. Your company, if it's your own company that you financed and you took a home loan out for, you use your inheritance, or you saved up for 25 years and you started it, they will reward you with more repeat and referral business if you do these three things with consistency. They're actions, they're tangible. Customers can wrap their arms around this. They can tell that you've responded. They can tell that you're following up like you said you would, or you say you're going to follow up and you do. And the follow through is where the rubber meets the road. And that's where most of our competitors fail, and customers are left in a state of bewilderment. Oh my gosh, I have to pull this thing to conclusion. I have to find the vendor. I got to poke them. I got to nudge them. I got to pull them. I got to string them along to, just get this job done, when if they just followed through in the first place, I wouldn't have to do all this. So, we just want to give you a cool story. This story was just passed on to me a couple days ago, and this is the beauty of it. So here's the story. A gentleman I know is going in for his final interview, and it's a group interview. So there's a number of people in this interview, right? And so he's asked the following question: how would you prioritize and manage an inbox of 1,500 emails that you found once you got back from an industry trade show? So guys, let's say at the industry trade show for 3-4 days, he comes back to the office and now he's got 1,500 emails. Which ones does he tackle first? How does he manage this? What does he do with this inbox of all these inquiries, right? So if you look at this graphic on the screen, right, one of the first things is, respond to all inquiries. 1,500 of them. Wow. So the gentleman tells me on the phone that he told the group of interviewers, he gave them their answer. And he said, here's what I would do. I would do this, then I would do that, then I would do this. And they said, great answer. And he said, however, you would never find me in that position. And in fact, let me take a little page out of the old evidence defeats disbelief playbook. Remember that? Defeats, demonstrations, exhibits, facts, examples, analogies, testimonials, and statistics. So what does he do? He takes his phone, he puts his email up, he passes the phone over to him, and he said, take a look at my inbox there. My inbox is empty. There's a couple recent emails. I would never let my inbox get to 1,500. Why? Because I respond to every inquiry, I follow up on every question, and I follow through on every follow-up that I need to do. And, it may require a whole bunch of different things, but I make sure I follow through on behalf of my teammate, my associate, and my customer. Well, the interviewers were blown away. He said there were a couple folks there that were just stunned. I mean, that's the word he used. And, I'm so glad he shared it with me, because he said, Mace, dude, I know this is what you preach. I know this is what you're all about. And I'm just telling you, dude, it makes a difference. And it does, folks. So this is where this show lands. And, is it bittersweet for me? No, because my goal was to write a book in 30 years. I did it. My goal was to do 5 years of podcasts. And today we finished it. The team did it. Right? So, I've met those two big life and career goals, but now we're going to pivot, and you're going to see more of that blue question mark coming up, because we're going to segue into what we call 1 minute, one question. In fact, you're going to see a little visual of it up on the screen here. We're going to put it up there for you so that you can see what it's going to look like. But we're just going to spend 1 minute every couple days, and we're going to ask a question. And you know what? The question is left on your doorstep to answer. So we ask, you answer. And that's where we're going to go with this. So I'm so jazzed up that I've been able to be on air for 5 years. I'm so excited that I've had such a professional team to help me. I thank you to all of the interviews we've been able to conduct over the years, some 50 odd interviews with different people. I am so blessed that we do have 85, 90,000 downloads on this. And I just am really tickled that those of you who have tuned in, those of you who have bought the book and read it and come back and said, dude, this is a just common sense manual on how to do business the right way. Well, guess what? It all funnels down to today's show and what's hanging on the wall behind me. Guys, gals, folks, it's that simple. It really is. We are called SimpleBiz360 for a reason. We look at all the different angles around the circumference of doing business, 360 degrees of doing business, and this is the target. Tomorrow, this afternoon, an hour from now, I don't care when you start, but if you respond to every single inquiry, text, voice, email, I don't care, knock on the door, whatever it is in your business, you respond to 100% of those inquiries and you follow up, which simply means, hey, I got your email. Thank you so much. I don't have the answer right now, but I'm going to look into it. And within the next 24 hours, I'll get back to you with my follow through. So you followed up on it, right? And then if you don't have any tangible follow through tomorrow, but you come back to the customer and say, hey, the 24-hour clock's up. I don't have an answer yet. Give me another 24 hours. Please stay tuned. It's a famous sentence I use in tons of my emails. Stay tuned for more follow-up. You simply tell the customer, I'll be back at you within 24 hours with some additional follow-up. And then the follow-through is you may have to touch base with product scheduling. You may have to touch base with marketing. You may have to touch base with your VP of sales. You may have to touch base with your CEO, with 2 other teammates. You may have had to talk to 6 different people, maybe 2 vendors. You've now got 8 different people you've talked to. And when you go back to the customer the next day, you've got the follow through because, hey, I've done my research. I got, your question was posed to a number of different people in the company. And after talking to all these different people, I've done my due diligence on the follow through. Here's the answer. If you do that with consistency, and sometimes it's not 8 people, it's 1 person, sometimes it's nobody, sometimes it's just doing the legwork yourself. But the fact that you respond to every inquiry, that you follow up, and then you make sure the rubber eventually meets that road. Your car has to get on the road and start driving with some tangible distance. You've got to give the customer what they ask for. You've got to let that rubber hit the road and come up with your follow through. And man, I mean, I'm telling you, guys, I don't know, but the stage is yours. Just like this guy who called me about his interview. You know what? He got the job, great salary. And you know what? He left some people stunned simply because he said yes to respond. He said yes to follow up. He said yes to follow through. I can't beat the drum anymore on this. I've beat this drum 35 times on my show, 55 times. I don't even know how many, but I beat it because by repetition, I'm trying to get the point across. Business isn't hard. It's hard when you make it hard. Business can be simplified, highly rewarding, highly lucrative, highly beneficial. Your customers will come back for more and more repeat business. They'll come back for more and more referral business. They'll give you more and more referral business. Why? Because this is desirable. You are meeting the customer at that deserve level. You've incorporated their wants and their needs, but now you're giving them what they deserve, and that is professional follow through. And I mean, the world is your oyster if you can do this. So we say thank you as we wrap this show up. We say thank you to Half Coast Studios. We say thank you to all our guests on the show. And most of all, we say thank you for giving us your time, right? We know that the time is the currency of the experience economy. So we've not intentionally tried to waste your time. We've done a ton of these shows in 5 minutes or less. We've done a ton of these shows 10 minutes or less. And we've tried to really keep the last 4.5 years in, aside from interviews, in that 20-minute zone or less. And we've really, we know your time is important. So we thank you, and we hope we earned your respect. We hope that we have shared some valuable tools and information. But man, don't waste any more time, because this can change your life next hour, the next morning, the next day. Just start saying yes to these 3 things and watch things just unfold that you've never dreamed of. Because why? Because people, customers want that. They do. They want that from their vendor base. So we say, don't waste any more time. And with that, we leave you with my last Lost in the Shuffle tune, my favorite band by far. I remember when I first heard them in 1971 in Arlington Heights, Illinois. I was stopped dead in my tracks in the basement of this house where I heard this band. I've never wavered. The Allman Brothers Band, ABB, out of Macon, Georgia, has been my go-to guys. They're just a great ensemble of artists. And they did an album called Eat a Peach, and it was to celebrate. It was kind of not celebrate, but it was an album that was dedicated to Dwayne Allman, who had passed away. And so Greg Allman, his brother, wrote a song, and it's Ain't Wasting Time No More. And it's about, he lost his brother, and it's about, what, time flies by. Let's not waste it. And I say the same thing to you guys, right? Enjoy this tune. It's a great tune. But don't waste any more time on this. Go after this right now. And if you can say yes to these 3 things, you are not wasting your time anymore, and watch things get really good. All right. So thank you so much, everybody. It's a wrap. Guys, we thank you. Take care. And we will see you on 1 Minute, 1 Question.